Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we're going to be reviewing Flewfie's Adventure. Flewfie's Adventure is developed by Comic Boop and Valorware and published by Valorware. It came out on June 1st of 2022. It is an action twin-stick shooter, and it is $9.99 on Xbox. Alright, so originally when I saw this game, I was like, well, this is going to be kind of strange, and I'm probably not going to like it very much because of the, you're basically playing as a little kitty cat. And like a Candyland style universe. However, the game is actually pretty good. The aspects of the game, like these, that normally kind of stink when they're like small developers, are actually really solid in this game. They did a pretty good job of making the game work effectively. There's also some side quest thingies, like when you talk to certain people, you can play this card game in the game. That is actually pretty simple, but it's actually a little bit difficult, and you'd be a little surprised about how difficult it is. But it's still kind of fun, actually. And then, of course, so you have these areas, and you can't actually go to the next area and get rid of the rift until you have completed the previous area. So I'm actually going to show you the little card game first, because I just want to show you what that is so you can see it. Basically, you can play the game called Pewed against, basically by talking to certain people. And the way this game works is that, is kind of difficult to understand, I guess, but it's basically, if you see these cards, they have little numbers on them, and each team has 3 cards, and whoever's got the most points at the end wins. And so basically, if you see, okay, he has a 1, 0, and a 1. So if I put any of these, the middle number on top of his card that's bigger than 0, then I will get that. And if I put it to the right, say if I put this card here or here, I will actually make that card a point for me because this number 2 is bigger than the number 1. And so I'm actually going to do that because, as you can see, that's going to be beneficial. And then he's going to place a card, and you can put 2 cards on top of each other. And so that's kind of how this game works. The best point here is that I'm going to actually do here, I think. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this, because then he can't do everything. So basically, this is just how the game works. It's very simple. That's really all you really need to see. Totally. See, I won. Pretty easy. And then, there are some achievements tied to playing this little game, and so just keep that in mind if you do pick up the game. The achievements in the game are going to take a little time, because there's quite a bit to the game. Also, when you talk to these people, there's upgrades, like UFO upgrades, which is the twin stick aspect of the game, and you can upgrade things. So you're going to find those upgrades through the areas. And then there's also, this upgrade for items that you find that are fashion. So, picking up different items to put on your character, which is going to help you have higher defense and higher attack ratings and stuff like that for when you play. And then there's also side quests. As you can see, this person in the cup, I actually had to find this little step ladder so he could get in there, and that was an achievement as well. So just keep in mind that you're looking for things throughout the levels. I'm actually going to go to the second area and go through a level so you can see what that's like here in just a minute, so you can see how the game plays and how the levels work. But I was pleasantly surprised with this game. I had absolutely no thoughts that this game was going to be very fun or anything previously, just based on what I'd seen about it. But I've been pleasantly surprised that the game is actually pretty interesting. Also, you're going to see these little boxes here that say you can't open these until you've completed the individual level that they're connected to. And so that's kind of how that works. And once you get in here, you're going to jump in your UFO, and this is where the twin stick aspect of the game comes along. And it works pretty well. You also have a bonus bar at the top, as you can see, and boosts, and then this beam thing, which you'll see here in a minute how that works. But you can shoot all these enemies that are on the screen, and you try to avoid all this stuff. So I'm just going to shoot these enemies as quickly as possible to get rid of them. There's lots of health pickups as well, which is going to make it easy to kind of run through the levels. And then there's like these little puzzles like this one you see, which you have to hit in order to open this little gate here. And eventually I'll find a map somewhere too, for this area, and then you're going to be able to know exactly where you want to go for everything. As you can see, these are like little health things that you can use your beam to pick up. Enemies are very simple in this, they're not so easy that I'd say that like even a kid could play it, but they are pretty easy. And there's always also these little hidden areas that have bonus items and coins that you need to pick up. And so just keep an eye out for those while you're playing through. As you can see here, there's the thing, but I need something to get through this area. And as you can see, I can't get through it yet, so I'm going to have to backtrack a little bit. See if there's someplace else I can go. So it looks like I need to actually go down this direction. And so yeah, it's very simple. You know, like I said, it's a twin-stick shooter in this aspect. And it is pretty simple, but it is actually decently fun. And there is absolutely no issue with how the game plays and works. It works very effectively. As you can see here, I need to maneuver this little ball with my beam up this area so that he can be placed in here, so I can actually open that gate. And then I just have to go back to where that gate started, and then I can get through there. There's a lot of little puzzles like this throughout the game, and I do think that they're pretty well made, and each one is a little bit different, so you don't feel like you're doing the same thing over and over. But there is a little, you know, there's always going to be a little bit because the puzzles are similar, but it's still pretty good. And as you can see now, I have the map, which is I can open here just as soon as I kick these enemies out. It's going to show me the entire area. And so I know I've already been in the top, you know, section there, so I just know I just have that left, the rest of it there to go, so. And basically the goal here is to get all the coins and pick up any items, you know, that can give me boosts and stuff later on. And we knew that there's a little area over here, so we're going to find this hidden area again. And then, in each level, there's also one of these little door areas that's going to have a separate little puzzle for you to do, and it's just going to have a requirement for something like this, where you got to do these puzzles in order to find some particular thing that you need. So actually, we need to go here. Oops. There we go. Nope. There we go. So that opens that door. And then I'm going to go down here. And open that. And that's going to drop that. Okay. So I need to roll this way. There we go. And once we get this, we can come back over here and drop it in this. And that's going to unlock another button drop, which there's one in each level that you need to rescue, along with the coins. As you can see, I also have my special ready, and so I'm going to probably use that near the end of the level, because that's going to help me beat the bigger guy that's at each level. There's kind of a big guy that's sitting at the end that's just there to try to make it so that you die before you get to the end. And so it's often good to save your special ability to that point, and you'll see that here in just a minute. Overall, I do actually enjoy the game. I think the price tag actually is pretty decent for it, considering the length of the game and how many puzzles and stuff there are. I don't feel like the game is all that difficult. Granted, you can play the game on multiple difficulties. There's easy, medium, and hard. And so if you really want a challenge, you can definitely play on the harder difficulties. But I definitely think that the game is, you know, good. You know, it's basically set up so that you can play on whatever difficulty you want. And it works pretty well. Some of the achievements are not... I don't think there's... So here's actually this guy. So I'm going to use my special ability. Boom. As you can see, he did that. But I'm actually going to go down here and grab this other coin that I missed. Since I thought maybe that was the end and I was wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and heal up all the way. There's lots of heals around, so it's not too... You don't have to worry too much about that. So in this particular instance, I have to jump out of the... thing in order to get the last coin. So anyway, back in the UFO and to the end, and that's basically how each level works. In a rough aspect, there's several puzzles throughout the level that you have to complete in order to get to the end of the level. Overall, like I said, it's a pretty fun game actually. I didn't have any expectation that I would enjoy it going in, and pleasantly surprised with how decent it is. So I definitely recommend it if you're into, you know, these types of games, like either a twin-stick shooter or just like puzzle-y type games. You know, ignore the fact that the way that the game is kind of laid out to be kind of for kids. It's actually, you know, it can be kind of tough if you put it on higher difficulties, especially. So it's definitely something that you can play with, you know, with a decent level of, difficulty. So, like I said, I definitely recommend it. If you do pick it up, let us know in the comments what you think about it. And have a nice day, guys.